BMW, the ultimate driving machine, the brand that brings style, refinement and driver enjoyment. Well, it once used to be. Hello, my name is Sid North, and in today's very first video I'll be discussing everything that's wrong with BMW in the year 2020. Thomas, cue the music. So then, BMW, where do we begin? Well, I want to clarify, I'm 23 years old, so me understanding BMWs actually goes back around 15 years ago, the time when the lovely E46 M3 was around and stuff like the E39 and E60 V10 M5. So cars like that onwards, all the way up to, let's say, the 1M and the F10 M5 are sort of the cars that have gained a big interest in my life. Also, there are tons of other cars, stuff like the Z8, but that's more of a Bond thing if I'm very honest, and the E38 7 Series, which is a Bond thing. But I want to talk about that genre, that era of BMW, and explain to you what I think of the Bavarian automaker from my personal perspective.
Congratulations on a safe journey.
So, cars like the E46 M3, let's talk about that because that's possibly the best BMW M3 they ever done. I know a lot of people question the E30 M3, but personally I find the E46 a better car. To be fair, that E46 Shape 3 Series has got to be one of the most beautiful silhouette yet elegant designs BMW have done. Also, they've made various other models as well, the E39, even the first gen X5, I know it's a sports utility vehicle and it started that whole genre of what we got in today's world. But even that was actually quite a handsome thing with its chunky rear tyres as well. They did the 4.8 V8 one as well. That was quite cool. So that world of BMW made me fall in love with cars, amongst many other brands, but BMW, the M stuff, was obviously the cars that appealed to my attention. But they also made other cars as well too. They made the Z4, they did do the 7 Series, the E38 was cool, the one after it, I can't remember the code name off the top of my head, the Chris Bangle one, that one was, Thomas, if you can cut to a shot right now, oh, look at that. Oh yeah, no, that was not a looker at all. It did have its dark moments, especially when they employed Chris Bangle, which was the American designer. He was in charge of the E60, the Z4 as well too. So where am I getting at here? Why am I beefing with BMW? Well, look at the most recent stuff they've done in the last 18 months. They brought out the Z4, which is okay, but not like the previous one, which wasn't that great, I'll be honest, but not like the one before it. Then we've got the M135i. Oh God, what a tragedy. The car that winds me up the most. I got to drive one on my main channel, in case you don't know who I am. My name's Sid North and I do have a YouTube channel where I review cars. You can go check over on that side. And I drove it and I didn't like it so much that I didn't even bother to review it. What an absolute shambles of a car. I wasn't a big fan of the previous M140i. That car had nothing wrong with it, but I think a lot of people overhyped that car. But at least there was a positive audience. It had a lovely straight six, it was rear-wheel drive, and it was costed really, really well. You know, the car was sub £30,000, or well, it was under 30 grand for an M135i. Then the M140i was nearly 40 grand, and then there was some fantastic finance deals going along at the time. Now though, you've got this M135i, which is a 2-litre engine, but forget that. Downsides in engines, I know it's happening with everyone. You know, we should be grateful that combustion engines still exist because sooner or later it is going to go out the pan. Hopefully it'll be past our lifetime, but hey ho, one of them ones. So this car doesn't even share a bespoke platform specifically for the 1 Series. BMW, I like to think, has cut corners with the 1 Series. In fact, this car shares the same platform as a Mini Cooper. Why? Nothing wrong with a Mini Cooper, great, but that's for Mini. Why can't you make a specific platform for the 1 Series? And the 1 Series is their best-selling car, or at least one of their best-selling cars. Okay, it was rear-wheel drive and you couldn't fit anyone in the back, I get that, and they wanted to accommodate space. But make it good looking, right? So they're trying to copy the Merc A-Class and the Audi A3, but it just seems like to me they blatantly copied, looked at someone else's and wasn't confident in creating their own hatchback. When it was front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, just wasn't there. Okay, it is quite pleasant to drive, I'll give it that, but the desirability levels has gone completely out the window. And then I go on to how many of them they make. Now, Audi, Mercedes, BMW, if you look back at them 15, or let's say 10 years ago, so 10 years ago from now is 2010, okay? So stuff like, you know, the AMG products. So if you saw a C63 W204 on the road, you wouldn't see as many. Okay, finances were around at the time, so I don't think a lot of people bought cars on finance like now, like they did back then. But there was a level of exclusivity. But now what BMW, Mercedes and Audi do is they want to register as many cars as they can. It's wheelie-wagging, it's comparing who sells the most cars. When they don't really sell them, they just register them as demonstration cars for car dealerships and franchises. So I feel like BMW really got stuck into that. So they're trying to register as many cars as they can to make it look good on their books, and obviously to write off some tax as well too. But what they're doing is forgetting the essence of what created their brand. If you look at stuff like the E24 6 Series, that sharp-nosed BMW, the OG, the original 8 Series, cars like that, the Z1 with its funky doors. Remember the Z1? Oh my goodness, what a car! So, you know, Z8, I keep going back to the Z8, what a car, what a car. Great up until it got sawn in half in The World Is Not Enough. I cried watching that movie, that was sad. But do you know what I mean? There was some cool iconic cars at the time, cars that people wanted to buy and really wanted. I really wanted an E60 M5 ever since I saw it on the telly, on Top Gear, Series 6, 2005, summer of 2005. I was 9 years old. I remember it very, very well. That V10 was just special. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, BMW, in my opinion, isn't the brand it once was even 10 years ago. I don't know where they are profits-wise. I hope they're making more money. And if they're not, good God, they need to reevaluate themselves. There just isn't many desirable cars in their range that I like. The 8 Series actually is not a bad looking car. And I had a go in an A40D, which I thought was quite good. But it really is taking its toll. The F80 M3 is a cool car as well. And the M340i is not a bad one either. But I still think that there's this... The spark's gone from BMW. The spark has gone, and the 1 Series is the one that really upsets me the most, because they've taken a very popular hot hatch, or hatchback shall I say, and completely fucked it. I know people will buy it for the badge and that, but I also think people who will come out of their previous 1 Series and into a new one won't really be that interested in it. In fact, I've got friends who are non-car people who own 118Ds, 114Is, and they're just not a fan of the new 1 Series. And I'm not beefing against new 1 Series, I'm not at all, and I'm not going at BMW because I am a BMW fan and I like their brand and I like their products. I just want them to make special stuff. Even that new M2 CS, I mean, okay, no one's driven it yet, but was it 70 odd grand? And power wise and everything, I mean, you could go get an M2 comp and do the same things for a lot less. You know, they're pricing a car to tackle the Cayman GT4, which now you can buy. You don't need to be a very special Porsche owner. Oh, look at me, I've owned the Panamera 5, 6, 7 of them. Can you give me a GT4, please? No, you can actually walk in and buy one and say, or you can even buy Cayman GTS. They're a 6-cylinder now. So the M2 CS, their special stuff hasn't been that great either. The M4 GTS hasn't been greatly done either. That was a complete ruin. So where are they going? I want to see Halo projects from BMW. What's going on? Okay. I'm sorry. The nostrils. What the hell's going on with these bloody kidney grill nostrils? You know, it's been around now for a year, isn't it, with the 7 Series, but oh goodness me, what a mess. Look at it. Look at the front of the new 7 Series and then look at the pre-facelift. Thomas, put those two together, man. Oh my goodness. I mean, the 7 Series of this shape is actually a handsome looking car, a very, very handsome looking car, and they've managed to ruin it by stretching these grills. I mean, who's in charge of this? Because whoever's in charge of this needs absolutely shooting. I don't care what you do. Get rid of them, because it's really wrecking the image of this brand. I'm not one to talk about image and styling. In fact, I've probably got a terrible image. But come on, these grills, and whoever says it's growing on you, they can it's not growing at all. It isn't. Look, I mean, look at the X7. Oh geez, oh no. X7, X5, I mean X5 from the rear. X5 from the rear, nice, I like it. Bit at the bottom, bit at the wheel, that's quite nice, that's not too bad. Side profile of the X5, pretty good as well too. At the front, oh my fucking word. Oh dear, terrible, absolutely terrible. So yeah, I have an issue with BMW styling. Some people might not have it, but I also have an issue with BMW churning out too many models for the sake of it. 2 Series Active Tourer. What's that all about, man? The only ingenuitive stuff they done was the i3, which I thought was quite cool, and the i8, but the i8 was a bit of a flop because it's a bit more of a gimmick, but hey, see, it's not as gopping to look at. I just want to see stuff like 1Ms coming back, and, you know, M3 CSLs and M4 CS. What about that car? What a nightmare. £90,000. Just, you know, it's got Cup 2 Michelins, a few carbon bits, less places to put stuff in. They got rid of the door pockets on the M4 CS. God, what a nightmare. Yeah, they're just making these sub-brands and not making them special enough. When Mercedes do a special version of their range, when eventually they make a Black Series, God, they're really, really special. Even some of Audi's stuff as well are quite special. You jump in, even say an RS3, there's a level of kudos. Okay, might not have the driver factor for the BMW, I'll give you that, but there's a bespokeness to it. Same with AMG. I just feel like BMW in the pecking order is at the bottom. Mercedes AMG at the top, following Audi Sport, and then BMW M just at the bottom, along with the rest of their cars. Anyway, I think that's the end. Have I got any more to rant? No. I feel like BMW at the minute, 2020, they need to pull their act, make something interesting, make something fun, try and fix that 1 Series. I know it's been out not long enough, but M135i, that's wank. M8 looks cool. Quite like the M8. That looks alright. M5, I drove an standard F90. Haven't had a go in a competition. I've been told the competition's really good, but look at it. Look at an F90 M5. There's no presence to it, in my opinion. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the first video of Oversteer. Like and subscribe, and till next time, people, goodbye.